So we're kind of all the way fucked, especially with the spikes that are going on.
Yeah.
My dad just told me yesterday they closed Princeton High School, which is like...
See, it's too soon.
Which is like it's like 15, 20 minutes from where I live. So it's coming. It's coming back.
Yeah, I just heard I went... Excuse me.
Yeah, it's one of those days.
We went to me and some people, we went to the diner on Sunday. Is this yesterday?
That would be
Sunday,
yesterday.
Okay.
No.
The day before
Tuesday.
yesterday. Damn.
Jesus.
The day before yesterday, we seen on the news that there's like 1,800 new cases in Jersey.
Yep.
And then my Uber driver today was just telling me that there's 100 something in Union City, and I'm like,
yeah, I read yesterday, not in New York City, but like the surrounding areas. So like Orange,
outside,
yeah, like right above it and right on the Jersey border. So like Rockland and Orange and all those counties.
Mm-hmm. Rockland had it very bad.
Well, I'll get to that in a second.
In the beginning, like very bad.
All of them raised at least, I want to say, like 6 to 12% of cases. But here's the reason for that, and this could be the reason it's going up in Jersey too, and it's only in like specific places.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the Hasidic Jews.
Huh? Wait.
Okay.
Wait, break that. Wait, what did you say?
I'm gonna break it down for you.
You say Jews?
No, just the Hasidic Jews.
Hasidic Jews.
Jews. It's like a Hasidic Jewish community.
I don't. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna have to break that down to me.
No. So what the Hasidic Jews are they are very
religious.
Yeah, but I want to say like old school and how they do it. So they have very specific terms that they live by. They follow everything to the T. Like they're the Jewish community that.
Where is he at with this?
No, even past that. Like they're the ones that you see. Have you ever been to Williamsburg in Brooklyn?
I'm just gonna look these niggas
You can
up.
look it up, but all right, let me finish explaining it. So they're the ones that during the holidays where you hear that they're not allowed to do work or use electricity and all that, they're the ones that abide by that. That's what they walk around like.
Oh, I just seen the same picture.
There you go. Bam. Yeah, so they're like that. But they're because of their religion and how they live.
These niggas look dope.
Because of their religion and how they live, they don't believe in vaccination. They don't believe in some of the things. Since day one of this pandemic outbreak, they have been very against anything that hinders their religion. So like gatherings or weddings or stuff like that. Like within the first month and a half in Jersey, specifically in Lakewood, because that's where their big community is in Jersey, and it's up in Rockland County somewhere for New York, other than Williamsburg. Williamsburg is nuts. But what they've done is in Jersey, they had to break up within the first 6 weeks of the pandemic, like 2 or 3 Hasidic weddings where they just had hundreds of people gathered together. Because they're just, and the issue with them is, and again,
they think they better than us?
By no means am I saying this as persecution. I have no issues with them. These are just things that I've heard and things that I've read. Is even now in Rockland County and different parts of New York State where Cuomo has said it's mandatory now for everybody to wear masks again. They have now said, the Hasidic Jews, that it's religious persecution, and they are now suing Cuomo.
What's Cuomo? Like suing Cuomo?
Yeah, he's the governor, right?
Oh, okay.
So the governor, he's the mayor. I always forget. He's governor or mayor of New York.
Okay,
Cuomo.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's his last name. I'm sorry. Okay, so Cuomo is the governor of New York. 8 rabbis in the Rockland County area are suing Governor Cuomo because of this mandate, because of his religious persecution.
They're just wearing a mask like everybody else.
Right, but it's religious persecution that you're telling me I have to wear a mask and that I have to not gather with all my people. I'll go a step further. So where was it? It was somewhere in North Jersey, like one of the really rich parts of North Jersey. I forget where. So during, and I'm just going to say holiday because I don't remember which one. There are certain Jewish holidays where you're not allowed to use technology. You're technically not allowed to what they call work.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So in one of these towns, they put up wires. So what they're able to do is hook their baby carriages and stuff to it. So that moves their baby carriage so they can still go to temple. They can still go to the stuff. This town said it's hindering on just about everything. So they cut the wires down. They said it's religious persecution.
Hey, yo.
Like, that's the kind of stuff that this Hasidic Jewish community does. They're known for going off on religious persecution and this kind of stuff. So, yeah, they're going. I don't even remember how we got here. How did we get here? Something about
Corona cases.
Something about land and Corona cases. And now we're on Hasidic Jews.
Jeez,
but,
that's interesting though.
Yeah, so
they think they invincible or something.
That's part. Well, it's not that they're. It's not that they're invincible. Like, it's just their religious beliefs that they don't do all this stuff. So that's why in Jersey, a lot of the new cases are in Lakewood or Lakeland. I forget what the town name is, but that's
crazy.
where
There's a lot of them old.
That's where
old
the
too.
Hasidic Jewish community really is in Jersey. They're in parts of North Jersey, so that's where a lot of the cases are coming from. Just like in New York, that's where a lot of them are coming from now, is Rockland area where all that stuff is, and that's why all these mandates had to go back into place. And I've been saying this since
we knew this
since
was coming.
reopening.
That's why I had to have my fun while I could, you know.
See, I was the opposite. I'm like, I'm not going outside. I'm not doing none of this. I can do all of that stuff from where I am. I will go places by myself. I'm going to stay away from people because
always.
I have said, because like I said earlier, my mom's a teacher and they told her she's going back to school and it's hybrid, and they started hybrid like 2 weeks ago. So now there's kids in the school. They're doing sports. They're doing everything.
They're doing sports.
They're letting people back into stadiums. College football games are having 20 to 30,000 people in these stadiums.
College is the worst.
Well,
have you ever had a friend? Have you ever had a friend group? Have you ever had a friend in your group that had a cold, and then next thing you know, their roommates got it, and then you wind up getting it?
I've had roommates that do it when you play sports like football or basketball, or any of that, especially late in the season for football, kind of early for basketball. One person on a team gets it, and then now you're playing a game where 50% of your team can't breathe. Because there's flu or whatever. It sucks. It's terrible. And you just got to battle through it.
And you said that your mom is a teacher, too. That's hard because I know kids.
Right. No, what they've done in her school.
I've heard so many stories.
What they've done in her school is you walk through what looks like a metal detector that takes your temperature before you're even allowed into school. You have to have a mask on at all times. They have, like when the pandemic first started in stores and you were allowed to open back up, they have dots on the hallway floor where you have to stay X amount of feet apart while you're walking in the hallways.
The thing is, even doing that shit, you could still catch it. You could still get it. Like, it's inevitable.
It's also been now that each hallway is designated. You can only go one way down the hallway.
It's one way.
I
got lockers spread apart.
I don't think you can use a locker, honestly, because they've gone hybrid. So some kids are in class one day, some kids are online, some kids are in class next day. I think the way she said it is they split the alphabet. So one part of the alphabet comes in Monday, Tuesday. The other ones come in Thursday, Friday, and you alternate every other Wednesday. So if you like this week, I could come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Next week, I'd come in Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, there's no way I would ever remember that shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And she said, and she's a home ec teacher, so she teaches cooking.
Yeah.
She's not allowed to demo any of the food. They're not allowed to cook together in the kitchens. Like,
so they're just doing bookwork, though?
I don't know what the hell they're doing in class. And she's got to teach to the kids in the class and the kids online at the same time.
And that's the thing,
and
like,
the
I want
kids in
to
the kitchen
say
have to stay 6 feet apart the whole time.
But it's like,
Listen,
I think about parents that need to. Wait, you said home ec, so she does high school?
Yes.
Middle school? Okay, so they're old enough to stay home by themselves?
Well, you had the option to stay home if you wanted to,
Yeah.
But not everybody was going to stay home. My thing was, as soon as I heard that they were doing fall sports and as soon as I heard that the schools were opening and the gyms were opening and everything was opening, even at limited capacity, I said this in August when I heard all this, that by Halloween, we'll be shut down again.
Yeah.
We will be in quarantine number 2 by Halloween. And Halloween is on Saturday and schools are shutting down. Colleges have had problems.
Man, I'm just trying to get rich.
Because one of her coworkers.
Rich out this motherfucker.
They sent my mom home for the week. She had to get a test. She's negative, so it's fine.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. She was sent home, and they were like, yeah, go home. You have to stay home this week. COVID test, and then you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So, 2 weeks she's going to be out of work.
Right.
And she had to get a COVID test.
So everybody at the job had to do that same shit?
Just her, because they, knew that they were in contact because they worked together.
Right. They contact trace it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They
are friends and they used to work together.
Right.
They see each other.
What they're doing in my mom's school is, I mean, y'all both went to high school. You kind of have assigned seating in the beginning of the year so a teacher can learn your name.
Yeah.
And then after X amount of time, you either switch your assigned seats, you go sit wherever because she knows your name by then.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that this year. Wherever I placed you day 1 is where you sit for the entire year, because if you get sick, I have to now contact trace the class to know who you were in contact with, who you were closest to, and then they got to contact trace it through the hallways and your other classes and your other teachers. It's insane. I told my mom straight up, I was like, if this was a stipulation when I was in school, I would not go to school. I would tell you straight up, I'm not going in. I'm not dealing with that. I'm staying home and learning on the computer.
Eating all day.
Computer's terrible. Some of my friends that are still in high school right now have told me how for online classes, they don't actually have a teacher. They're assigning work, they're teaching themselves, and then they have to hand in the work by the end of the week. So
that's like a college class. That's a college class. That's not that bad.
For high schoolers,
it's what you got to do in a year or two anyway.
Well, yeah, but like freshmen that are just coming from middle school where they're getting all the love and affection in the world, they're going to high school and then all of a sudden they have to teach themselves. I could barely get through pre-calc when I had a teacher and a tutor. I got a C in that class. I had a teacher and a tutor. No. And now people are supposed to teach themselves pre-calc college prep.
I don't even think I took pre-calc.
I took a college pre-calc course. So now those honors kids who are taking those classes can't have teachers to walk them through it because they're just teaching themselves.
If you're in an honors class, you get no sympathy because that means you're that smart that you can get in that class, and then you chose to take that class specifically to get the college credits. So you get absolutely no sympathy from me.
Which honestly, to me, that makes no sense though. Like for schools to think that way at least. Even if.
Oh, I'm not saying for the school. I'm saying me personally to think that way. If a honors student came to me and was because I grew up in a town that was 70 to 80% Indian and Asian. And I'm talking these kids, I tell this story all the time. I took my SATs sitting behind, me and my friends sat behind 2 6th grade Asian girls. This is the town I came from. The coolest story about that is we found out that the girl diagonal from me and the girl diagonal from him had the exact same test as us. So for the first 2 sections until we got a break, we cheated off these Asian girls, and then we sat back down. We opened the test and just saw it, and we looked at each other like, oh shit. And we did that for the first half, for the first section, and then we sat back down, and the proctors came up to the girls and said, we got to move your seats, and one went to the front in that corner, and one went to the front in that corner. We looked at each other and went, well, fuck.
Good run. What's ridiculous about the Corona thing now, the SATs are also not going to be mandatory for college applications.
They're already not. That happened a couple years ago. They're going off the ACTs now.
No standardized testing is going to be required for the next 3 years because there's no safe way to take them.
Man, that shit doesn't matter anyway.
Oh, no, it doesn't. I'm just saying, for people like us that it did matter in the past, where we you have to take the SATs, you have to pay to take the SATs, then you have to apply to colleges, and then if colleges don't like your SAT scores, you're not going to get in. That's crazy. Now it's just proving that SAT scores and stuff like that just doesn't matter.
The only thing the SAT and ACT score did for me was scholarships. That's all it did for me. It had no bearing on whether I was getting into college or not.
For me, neither, because I went to an art school. But I applied to another.
It's the benefit of being an athlete. It doesn't matter as long as you didn't bomb it and you're not an F student. you're getting into whatever college recruits you.
Yeah, for me, since it was in our school, it didn't really matter like if my reel was good, then I was in. But like I applied to like another school, like for their film program, but like also it was like just a regular school. And because of my SATs, I was able to get into their like honors school. I mean, I didn't end up going there, but like that weight that the SAT has is still present. And now that for the next 3 years, they're going to be proving how that's just ridiculous that we have that much weight on just one test.
Well, yeah, it makes no sense because that test doesn't show anything except deduction skills.
Yep.
Even the
skills, if anything.
Right, exactly. And then how well can you write a essay in 25 minutes?
And what in life are you ever going to really be writing an essay in an hour? Even if you're a freaking journalist. If you're a journalist, you'll have a deadline with...
I got a perfect score on the writing section. Twice. I took it twice, and I think I got... Oh, that's not true. I think I got a 9 out of 10 both times. I don't know what I did on the rest of the test, but I got a 9 out of 10 on the writing section. And that's what everybody was waiting. They're like, you get this writing section done, you're pretty good. I'm like, all right, well, then shit, fuck. I'm all right. I got a 9 out of 10. They're like, what'd your rest of the score? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't care. Never paid attention to that shit. I was like, as long as my grades were okay and I did enough to pass and I cheated my way through school. Oh, no, I cheated my way through school. Never studied for, well, middle school through college.
Maybe not cheated, but like you finessed.
No,
say cheated, say finesse.
I cheated. I cheated every time I had a test the night before.
Oh, you was one of them.
I took a loose leaf piece of paper, folded it up until you like could read it, and you got 4 note cards, one side, and then you flipped it open and top and bottom. And I always wore a hoodie. So I would sit there with the test, and the card was under the hoodie like this. And anytime I needed an answer, I would just flip the hoodie up. Boom. I mean, I'm sure the teachers knew, but I never got caught.
Nah, them open-ended Johns used to have me fucked up.
The only time I ever got caught cheating,
answer.
I didn't even get caught for cheating.
Probably your phone out.
No, it was a college class, and the teacher let us have, I think, 1 note card. Like, this was her rule. We were allowed to have 1 note card for the test. And she knew I would sit there, and I had my hood up, like always, and I always had 1 headphone in. Whether it was on or not was a different story. It was generally on, but it was really low, and it wasn't telling me anything. It was music, whatever. She wasn't there for when we took a test one time, and so we had a substitute. And the substitute came and told me I was cheating because I had my headphone in. So she made me come to the front of the class, try to get into my phone, and my phone was locked. And I'm like, the fuck are you doing? You're not going to get into the phone.
I'm not on my phone right now, lady.
Yeah, I wasn't even on it wasn't like I was looking at my phone. I was taking the test.
And if you want to prove that, just straight up ask me to unlock my phone.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to unlock the phone anyway. I was not going to unlock the phone anyway.
But like, it's just like easy.
I took the test and went...
Trying to break into his phone? Like, what do you... What?
Yeah, she's trying to open the phone. I'm like, there's a lock on it. And I'm not going to open it for you. Like, there's no point to this at all.
Even if you did, it wouldn't prove
Right, it didn't prove anything. So I just emailed the teacher and was like, here's what happened. She's like, I'm going to tell the teacher you're going to fail the test. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, all right, whatever. Got back to my room after the test. Emailed the teacher, had a meeting with her. She's like, yeah, that teacher didn't do what I wanted her to do during the test. Anyway, you're fine. She's like, next time you take a test, just have your hood down. I'm like, all right, whatever. That was it. That was the only time I got caught. And I didn't even get caught doing anything wrong. Teacher with the substitute was just a dick.
See, I feel like there's always like 2 types of substitutes. There's the one that actually wants to be like a good teacher. So
Man,
they're
it was
trying to be like OD.
It was a college seminar class. There was like 70 kids in that class. Stadium seating shit. Like, pick me out of the crowd.
And then there's a substitute who's trying to be like the teacher of the year, and they'll pull shit like that.
For no reason. Made no sense. Didn't do anything. Didn't prove anybody's point. Nobody had any idea what happened. Just some other shit. Now we have Corona and murder hornets. Did you hear about... I saw yesterday on the news, they found the first nest of murder hornets in America.
I heard that
Pacific Northwest.
You know what's crazy? Like, I read about this probably
Them
the beginning
shits.
of quarantine that they were coming. But
They here. They're in the Pacific Northwest. Them shits are this big. Like when you see it, when I saw pictures of them, it literally looked like a sci-fi horror movie. Like it didn't look like they were real. Them things are nuts.
Yeah, like you literally can't leave the house.
Asia.
They like, all right, y'all don't want quarantine? Bet.
Apparently they're from like a rainforest or kind of forest, something in Asia.
Why are they coming up here? It's cold.
Because they got on a boat from Asia and now they're here. And the issue is they have no natural predators. And apparently their venom that they have, not only does their stinger have venom, apparently they spit venom.
I'm tired.
So,
Lord, come get me.
They have enough venom in their sting that if they sting you, it's almost like a rattlesnake bit you.
Oh, nah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up what they don't like so that I can.
They don't have any predators. There's no natural predators, and they kill bees.
Don't know it yet.
No, there isn't any. They kill bees. That's what they do. They seek out beehives, and then destroy the bees. And the bees are almost like powerless against them because the bee sting to them has no effect. But this hornet doesn't lose its stinger, so it just can go around and prick everything, and then bites the head off the bees, takes over the nest, kills the queen, kills everything, and then takes the larva, and that's what their babies eat.
That's bugging.
And the only thing that the bees have found that can kill the hornets is if like thousands upon thousands of bees surround the hornet and get on its body and then like buzz their wings to basically overheat the hornet. And then the hornet explodes. That's how these bees have to kill them because they can't do anything else. It's nuts. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, I've ever heard. I don't, because my mom watches Nat Geo, so that's how she told me all this when we were listening to it last night on the news. I don't know why these things exist. There are just some things in nature that it's like, why? Like, what is your purpose? Like, I don't understand it. Terrifying. But they weren't in America. They were just centralized to Asia, and now they're here because they came on a boat, and now we got to deal with them.
It should have sounded like the bee version of Predator.
It's the craziest shit I've ever seen and I've ever heard of. And they're like this big. They're nuts. Yeah, they make no sense to me.